Ever had one of those purchases where you open the box and you go, oh, I think I made a mistake. Should I just chuck it in the bin right now? Then you know you're throwing money away, so you sort of feel like you can't. This is one of those moments. Going camping for a few days and we're trying to work out the heating arrangements a bit because we are planning to go south soon for a few weeks and it's going to be cold. So we tried the electric blanket. The battery doesn't really last too much longer past the night, so it's sort of useless. So I bought myself a diesel jet heater that everyone seems to be raving about. But the one I've bought is technically a build your own Meccano kit type thing. For 1,001 parts. So this thing here is just stupidity in itself. This is your little diesel tank, obviously. They actually give you the hose gland type thing, which is a bolt type arrangement. So you undo the nut off it, and that's where you got to drill a hole, and then somehow get this down through the hole, down across to the other side, poke it out the hole, so then you can screw the nut onto it from the outside. I think that itself, you're going to go in the bin. It's got a fuel hose, and all I'm thinking about doing is, for this particular trip coming up, I'll just stick the diesel jerry can here. We're probably just going to temporarily mount this because I'm not sure how it's going to work or if it's even worth wasting time and money on. So we're just going to temporarily make a bracket here for the diesel heater to sit. We're just going to drop the actual fuel line straight into the diesel tank next to it, and that's all we're going to be doing for this particular trip. If it goes well, I mean, I've still got to learn where's it blowing heat from, what's it actually generating, and is it dangerous to be put inside, because ideally I'd like to mount it inside the canopy, but it's got a few exhaust tubes, so I'm not sure what the actual exhaust is and the heat that's got to come off this thing. So for now we're just going to play it safe. We're just going to mount a bracket, put it on the back here, give it a run, because I've also heard these things can be noisy, which I don't know much about either. So first things first, make ourselves a bracket. Found this bit of alloy, which is just a good size really. Shove that down there. I'll do a cut, we'll bend it over, weld it up a bit to give it a bit more strength, and then we'll just mount our diesel heater on that. Fuel hose drops straight in, we'll just extend the wiring into the battery to get to 12 volts and everything's going to be there. Then we'll just run the duct up into the side of a tent. For now, I don't want to go drilling holes in my tent just yet until I figure out if it's going to work or not. So that's the plan. So we'll mark this up, we'll get it cut and bent. I could take it down to the workshop and put a nice fold in it. Just don't feel like going for the drive. very Flintstone. Just put a little relief cut in it. Still got a lot of strength to it, but quick and easy. If it works, like I said, we'll go make a proper one, but we'll just give this a go. Right, now a nifty little quick and easy bracket. Slides in there like so. And then just got to now cut a square in that for this to sit down into. So we'll nut and bolt this plate to that. Just make life a bit easier. So I'll make the intake there. Measure that up and mark it out and cut that out. So I've got that sitting there, I'm just waiting on the battery gel to charge so we can bolt it on properly. Got the wiring, plumbed in the fuel hose. This whole bracket's going to lift off and just go in the car with a heater on it anyway, so it's not unbolting. That fuel hose will be alright. Just making a temporary loom with a fuel hose to come around into the car, and now we're just hooking in the fuel pump. It's got the direction on it there, so we're just got to push all this together. For clamps they supply don't even clamp, so that's sort of useless. I'm probably just going to have to go buy my own if I think it's necessary. I'm sort of thinking about just buying a little diesel container and just leaving sitting in the canopy in here. That and supplies to this little filter, which I'll stick between the fuel supply and the pump, so any contaminants don't go into the pump. For some reason, as soon as you cut this tube, it welds itself together. It's testing me. I'm really regretting now not paying a bit more and just getting the standalone item, which if this totally fails, still probably on the cards. Right, so we've got all that plumbed in and hooked up. So I'm near tempted just to drop this line straight in my petrol tank at the moment, the diesel tank. See if it just sucks out of that, and might even be an option for the weekend so I can keep my water container on the back. I do have 2 new jerry can holders I haven't got around to finishing to put on the back yet. But that's still one of those little projects I need to finish off, and this might now inspire me because I didn't really see a need to have 2 at the moment, but now I do if I've got to carry some diesel and like to carry for water still. So now we just got to get this long enough to go up and join into my batteries, or even the cigarette lighter up there possibly. So we'll make up a bit of a connection and make that work. Might be a trip into town for some parts. Just ducked into town. Just looking for an economical cord to a certain degree without too much work to actually lengthen my pump wiring. So I got this fridge cord. I'm going to cut the end off, use the Anderson plug to plug into my system, join onto the wiring. Oh, could have itself a little jerry can or diesel. So we'll cut this off, meter it out, figure out which one's active and which one's neutral, and then we shall give it a test run. Fingers crossed. Might be here for a while. I'll get back to you when it actually starts. I think I'll go grab myself a drink and wait.
Stop heating. Start heating.
Absolute failure with trying to suck the fuel up out of the jerry can. Just won't prime. Struggling to get the fuel up to the pump before it times out and goes into limp mode. So we have gone to the factory tank, and hopefully the gravity feed thing and a shorter line to the pump will actually help it. So we're just going to wait and see how it starts behaving this time. Yeah, because I was noticing I was getting airlocks, like when it time off, the fuel, the actual diesel would drop down a line. I mean, it's extremely slow. It's only a pulse. That's the actual timing, how it actually runs the diesel pump. Which means when I've got a little bit of distance to get to the pump, it's going to take a little while to get there. And I can't blow on it to try and push it further, unless I give you old fashioned fuck's sake. Oh. It's giving me the shit so far, I can tell you that. The fuel's still nowhere near in sight. And it's going to realise it hasn't ignited soon. It's going to time out again because it thinks there's a problem. Yep, pump stopped. I'll tell you what, this thing's going to go in the bin very shortly. I just don't see any point to it. I'm not even sure if the fuel lines can actually stay primed once you disconnect or turn it off or whatever. Hopefully all the hard work right now is in the fact that it's not primed, and once we do get it primed, it stays primed. I don't know. Just got to keep turning it off and turning it back on until it runs, I guess. Get a remote with it at least, with temperature control. Not real happy so far. Verdict, now we have it running. I don't know, I think it's all crap. I hate dealing with diesel to start with. It's messy, it's horrible to deal with. Like, you spill it and it just ruins everything around you. So maybe I'm struggling with that fact. I looked up the other gas brand ones. Everyone hates those too. So the standalone ones might be a bit better where it's all in one unit. This thing annoyed me straight from the get-go, where it's piece it together and muck around with it. I was thinking maybe I can find a plastic tub to house everything while I'm transporting it, especially to maybe mount that in the side of a tub, so if a stupid thing starts leaking, I don't get diesel fuel through my canopy. That will just annoy me, and that's where I'm sort of debating, is it really worth any grief? Noisy. The other bit I really don't like is there's no like fan control. Like, it is blowing out quite warm, and unless you duct the actual intake into your canopy so it's cycling the air in, it's not going to measure the actual temperature, and I don't really want to be living and breathing whatever this is pumping. I like just for warm air to be going into the canopy and the actual rooftop tent only. But that's got a lot of force coming out there and you can't control that. So I think it'll cook you in a few minutes. With the actual intake plumbed in, it'll probably regulate and turn itself on and off a bit. But there's no actual real provision for that. So I don't know. I'm debating the actual part of it. I just pick the whole thing up and chuck it in the bin right now, so I don't have to deal with it anymore. I mean, some of those real cold nights it probably will be good, but I don't know. Very noisy. I'm sort of imagining how I'm going to go in the middle of a bush, listen to all this rubbish going on too. I don't know. I guess when you're freezing cold, you're probably not going to worry about that stuff too much. You're just happy to have some warmth.